Morning. Let me go ahead and quiet the background noise. All right. Good morning, everyone. I was talking on Thursday about this beautiful book that I repicked up. I don't know if you're like me, but you read like maybe a couple of chapters and then you put the book down and you don't pick it up for 6 months or whatever. And so whenever I go away, I'm in Vermont right now. But whenever I go away, I always pack like 4 books that I want to catch up on. And one of them is one that I've spoken to you a lot about, which is braiding sweetgrass. And so in the story, she starts to talk about she's comes from a Native American heritage, and she starts to talk about the language and that there's only, I think it was 9 elders that still had their language, that still was speaking their language. Other than that, once these 9 elders left, that this language would just die. And so she and some others were trying to learn the language, and she said it was so difficult because it made no sense compared to the English language. Like her native tongue was so confusing because everything was a verb. Like everything was something that was in motion or something that was always animated. And so the more she started to think about it, because at first it was like her brain was, exploding, like it was making no sense to her. But then all of a sudden, she started to think of how many things that we place this sense of um, trapping it into what our language says it is. And she used the explanation as a he, she, or it. And she said that so often we give the name it to something like the bay, the bay, she's talking about the bay, and I'm going to read to you exactly what she said. Or we talk about the trees, it. And she said the difference in her language is it gives the way of saying something that is live, like a he or a she. So in her language, they would say the tree people or the sky people, or instead of it, give it that animation. And that is something very powerful that I just really latched onto. And I was thinking about how many things that I do that with, how many things I inanimate. And so I'll read to you what she said. And then maybe for just today, see if it's fun for you to say things like, tree people or water people or sky people. Let me see, where am I? So she said, as she was getting so upset about this idea of things that, how everything was a verb, she said, and then something just snapped in my head. She said, it's in that moment that I could smell the water of the bay, because she was talking about the bay being that thing that was not just a noun, but a verb. She said, in that moment, I could watch it rock against the shore and hear it sift onto the sand. A bay is a noun only if the water is dead, she says. And when bay is a noun, it is defined by humans, trapped between its shores and confined by the word. But as a verb, to be a bay releases the water from its bondage and lets it live. To be a bay holds the wonder that for this moment, the living water has decided to shelter itself between these shores, conversing with cedar roots and block of babies, because it couldn't do otherwise become a stream or an ocean or a waterfall. And there are verbs for that too. The hill, anything that you're putting an it on. For just today, have fun and make it a he or a she or a people. If you haven't yet, go ahead and close your eyes. I'm going to do a little chant to Saraswati. That's the divine goddess of knowledge that gives us the knowledge that we're so much more than we limit ourselves to be. So the mantra is very simple. Om, Aim, E-I-M is the sound. Saraswati, Saraswati, Saraswati. I'll do it first and then join me if you'd like, or just listen. I Saraswati, Saraswati, Saraswati. You're just calling on those energies of wisdom, creativity, knowledge, the deep knowledge of the universe. Oh, I Saraswati, Saraswati, Saraswati. Oh, I Saraswati, Saraswati, Saraswati. Oh, my Saraswati, Saraswati, Saraswati. One more time. Oh, I Saraswati, Saraswati, Saraswati. This world is so much bigger, so much pulsation. We limit it by our language, we limit it by how we've been taught to see things, hear things, taste things. So allow our senses to get wider, more open. Tree people, sky people, open your eyes, come onto your hands and knees. And go ahead and press back into child's pose. Thank you all for being here. Some of you I haven't seen for a while, so welcome back. I've missed you. Don't think I don't think about you guys. I do, I do. When I don't see you, I know you're making magic somewhere. Beautiful. Let your breath get just a little bit deeper. Your eyes get a little softer. And then rise up to your hands and knees and begin to just do a little cat and cow. Eyes opened or closed, up to you. I think one of my greatest prayers and requests are to open me up to the more of this universe. That wherever I have limited myself, either consciously or unconsciously, that I can be given everything that is meant to be mine, meaning conversations with the trees, conversations with the sky, conversations with the water. Downward facing dog, please. Listening to the conversation of the wind. You know, I always say that if you have a problem that you're struggling with, go sit by a grandmother cedar, go sit by a very old tree, and let her share her wisdom with you. She's seen it all. Bend your knees deeply here, lift your seat high, pull your navel in, and then cat-cow here. Inhale to look forward, exhale to look back. So you're keeping your knees bent so that you can feel this in your low back. You can move the lowest part of your back. Good. And then let your ears just fall in line with your arms and press your legs to straight. And now come up to your tippy toes, so lift up nice and high. And then lower your heels down. Doesn't matter if they touch or not. Do that one more time. Lift nice and high, pull up. And then draw the heels to the floor. Try to keep the hips nice and high. Beautiful, everybody. And then slowly walk your feet up to meet your hands, standing forward, bend. Let yourself just hang forward, keeping the navel engaged, keeping the rib cage drawn in. You can bend your knees here, making sure that you're not locking your knees back. And just open and close your mouth. Beautiful, everybody. And then hands on your hips, press down through your legs to rise up to stand. And then allow your arms just to float alongside the body, maybe even palms turned forward, and close your eyes for a moment. Deep connection. This deep openness to see, feel, experience. Good. Draw your left knee into your chest and become a tree. Let your left foot come to your inner right thigh or below. Tree pose. And allow that conversation between your foot and your inner thigh, or your foot and your shin, or your foot and the floor to become very, very true. That conversation, that pressing, that connecting, even that falling, in any arm position you'd like. Then breathe into this. Right, balancing right at the get-go. Keep breathing as you let your hands float to your heart if they've left your heart, and then release that leg down. Remind yourself that we're not trying to draw that knee back so that it's in line with the hip. We're trying to keep the hip square. So try the other side, please. Good. As that right foot comes in, it's not about pushing that knee back. It's about keeping your hips in this, your hip points in the same line. Nice. Pull the navel in. Even send your sit bones back just a little bit. And then any arm position once again. Let the eyes get softer. Connecting. Why did the yogis make all these poses that were connecting to nature? Because we had disconnected so much. And some reason, we humans, oh boy, we think we have all the answers. Go ahead and pull that knee forward, release it down, sit back to chair. Nice, Lynn. Gorgeous. Nice, Nancy. And fall forward, clasp your hands behind your back. Let your arms come up and over any amount. Maybe even bend your elbows so your shoulders shrug a little closer towards your ears. Good. Hands on your hips, push down through your legs, come on up to stand. I think we're just going to do tree through the whole class. Hug your left knee into your chest. I'm just kidding. Left knee into your chest, tree pose though. We are going to do a second round. And in this round, I want cactus arms. Good. Let the elbows go slightly forward so the chest lifts. And then start to lean back, but don't push your thighs forward or your ribs forward. Start to lean back like you're going to take a slight back bend. Maybe even take your butt back a little bit more as you're doing this. Maybe bend your standing leg. Breathing. Beautiful. Come on up. Fantastic. And let's try the other side. Don't be afraid to bend a standing leg when you're in a balancing pose. Because we become so rigid, we don't want to fall, that's actually not going to help us to engage. Cactus arms. Keep that sense of lifting in the chest, softening in those front ribs. Bring your throat back and then start to lean back as if you're going to move into a back bend. Yes. Don't limit yourself with the mind. The mind is a beautiful thing, but let your body show its magic. Good. Come on back. Sit back into chair. Good. Fall forward. Clasp your hands behind your back. This time, awkward hand hold. Have the other thumb weave in, and take your arms up and over any amount. Nice, Debbie. Nice, Stephanie. Let your hands flow down to the floor. Step back to plank pose. Pause. Everything's lifting toward the ceiling. Thighs up, ribs up, throat up. And then come slightly past your wrists and lower all the way down to your belly. Rise up into cobra. Lift your head, neck, and chest. Press back, downward facing dog. Nice, Roz. Good, Sue. Inhale that right leg back and up behind you, down dog split. Bring your heel to your butt and just bring your knee up as high as it'll go so your foot's coming toward the back of your head, and then lift the back of your head up as if your heel and your head are going to touch. Good, now send your right foot forward, right foot all the way up to the front of the mat, and send your left leg to the sky into a standing split. Left leg up. So having your hands either flat or on blocks, and then come up to your right tippy toes. Come on up to your right tippy toes. So nice and high up onto those right toes. Squeeze your legs powerfully toward each other and pull your navel all the way up to meet your heart. Squeeze up. Good, lower everything back, downward facing dog. Come forward to plank. Pause. Again, feel your whole body lifting up toward the ceiling as you lower yourself down. Go slow. And then rise up into cobra. Maybe let your mouth open, stick out your tongue. Good, downward facing dog. Nice job. Left leg back and up behind you, down dog split. Heel to your butt. Keep the knee, don't let the knee come out to the side. Keep it pointing down, and then look up, pressing your heel toward the back of your head, letting your armpits move forward. So powerful. Look at that. Nice, Lydia. Yep. And then you can stretch that leg to straight, which I didn't give you that last time, and then step that left foot forward. Feel the left foot touch down. Amazing. Take your right leg to the sky, standing split. Hands on blocks or on the floor. Good, lift up onto your tippy toes of your left foot. Pull up, pull all the way up. The power of that ribs moving in, the power of that navel moving toward the heart. Good, lower back down that heel, step back, downward dog. Good, take those knees down to the floor and press back into child's pose. Keep pulling the rib cage in, keep that power of the navel, the power of the tree people, the power of the mountain people, the power to see the world around you as animated, activated. Grace. Take your upper body to the right side of the mat, side stretch. Keep that navel drawing in. What are the bugs called here? June bugs, May bugs. We have mayflies up here. The interesting thing about them is they only live for a day, right? Yeah, they live for one day. And I think in that one day they mate. Go to the other side. It's just fascinating, right? Why are we think we're such big deal? Like, seriously, you got one day and all you get to do is mate. That's it.
Worse things.
And then I think you hang out in the water for a long time, right? Isn't that what Neil said? That
They lay the eggs.
Yeah, they lay eggs that stay in the water for a very, very long time. Fascinating. And they also get up your nose and in your face, and this world is so much bigger. So much more magnificent. So I cannot understand when somebody says, I'm just getting through the day. And I understand there's challenges. I do get that. Come back to center downward dog. I do get that. But there's so much to learn in this world. So much more than the drama. Inhale that right leg back and up behind you. Heel to your butt once again. Kick your heel toward the back of your head. Good. Now squeeze that knee all the way up to the nose and curl your nose into your knee. Pull in. Stay there. Lift your ribs as high as you can. Look forward. Step your right foot forward. Not easy. High lunge. Take your arms to the sky. Bend your elbows. Lean back. Lean back. Yes. Nice, Kim. Keep that knee moving forward. Nice, Yasmin. Melody. Yep. Clasp your hands behind you. Take a breath into your heart. Carla, beautiful. Allison, and come forward. Any amount. Any amount. Let your hands float to the floor. And step that left leg up to that split again. Left leg lifts up into that standing split. Point the toes to the floor. Good. Once again, come up to those tippy toes on that right foot. Now press down into your hands as much as you can, so hands on blocks. As if you're going to just kick up into handstand. Of course you're not, but pull your navel in as much as you can and let your hands float to the floor for that sense of pressing in, being held, supported. Good. Step back, downward dog. Come forward to plank. Lower all the way down to your belly. Good. Rise up into cobra. And press back, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale that left leg back and up behind you. Down dog split. Heel to your butt. Press your head up. So that feeling of your heel moving toward the back of your head. Yeah. Good. Now pull that knee in towards your nose. Squeeze in and feel how strong that navel center is. Nice, Andrea. Look forward. Step that left foot all the way up to the front of the mat. It's not easy to do. Inhale the arms to the sky. See that knee pointing right at that second toe. Clasp your hands behind your back. So vulnerable, right? I'm asking you to come forward with no hands. Inhale into the heart and then bow forward. Keep breathing. Nice joy. Hands to the floor. Let your right leg raise to the sky. You're in that standing split, standing Hanuman. Squeeze the legs as if there was a giant block between your legs. And then come up to your left tippy toes. Lift your left low belly a lot. Pull that navel all the way up and then let yourself fall into your hands as if you're going to do a handstand. Point the toes to the floor. Right toes to the floor. Great, Allison. Step back, downward facing dog. Nice, Robin. Take it through your vinyasa or none. You could take a rest here. Absolutely beautiful. From downward dog, please come to plank. And drop your right knee underneath your right hip. Send your left heel to the mat. Take your left arm to the sky. Good. Inhale that left leg up off the floor. Now, the same idea of when you were doing that standing split and you're pulling that navel up to meet the heart. Do that. Now press your sit bones back and wide. And now reach back for that ankle. Tendency to push the ribs forward. Pull back, pull back. Navel up. Throat back. Kick that foot into your hands and breathe. Gently release plank, please. Left knee underneath your left hip, right heel to the floor, right arm to the sky. Inhale that right leg up with all the power in your navel center. Reach back for that ankle. Float that throat back. Nice Heidi. Nice Linda. Melody. Yep. Pull back, pull back, pull back. Gently release. Downward facing dog. Super. All right, so come forward to plank. Tuck your chin into your chest for a minute and pull that navel in. Good. Now look forward, go slightly past your wrists and lower down to chaturanga and pause. Lower down and pause. Shoulder blades on your back. Lower, 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 and all the way down. Come on up into Cobra, Bhujangasana. And lower your forehead back down to the mat. Turn your cheek to the side. Listening all around you. What is it that the breeze has to tell you? The standing people, the beaver people, the rock people. Giving the inclusion, respect, language that animates and validates. Turn your cheek to the other side. You've been connecting with your breath here. Good. Bring your elbows underneath into Sphinx pose, please. Elbows underneath your shoulders. There you go. Feeling of drawing in through that navel. And then tuck your toes under and lift your hips up. And walk your feet in so your hips come nice and high to the sky. Good. And then inhale your right leg up. Bring your heel to your butt and look forward as if you're kicking your heel toward the back of your head. Keep the ribs in. Nice. And lower that down. Try the other side. What happens when you kick that heel into those sit bones? Do they curve under a lot? See what happens if you can keep your back body nice and full here. And then lower that leg down. Come on down to your knees and press back into child's pose. One of the beautiful things being here in Vermont is taking walks through the woods and the mountains here. And the last couple of days, the wind has been blowing through the trees so magnificently, honestly, as if it has a song or teaching for me. Just listening to all that Mother Nature has for us. Come up, downward facing dog. Coming forward to plank pose, Vashisthasana. Use your right hand to hold you, stacking your left leg on top or dropping your bottom knee. But if you are going to stack one leg on top of the other, I want you to take tree pose here. So take the top leg and slide it up. And release the hand down and change sides. Beautiful. Top leg, if you're doing the bottom leg straight, top leg comes into tree. You'd like to try. Good, and release, downward facing dog. Glorious. Stepping your right foot forward, opening up to Virabhadrasana 2, second warrior. Settle into those arms. Let them be nice and high, but at the same time, active and relaxed. Good. Take your right forearm onto your right thigh or right hand down to the floor, side angle. Good. Place your left hand behind your head. And then let that elbow come forward as you tuck your chin into your chest and pull the rib cage up, the navel up to meet the heart. And then keep that power. Send the sit bones back and wide, and then press your head back and let that arm come back over your ear. Beautiful. Let your hands float down to the floor. Lift up your back heel. Good. Lean forward into your hands and slide that left leg up to the sky again into that standing split. Relax and breathe. Let your skin become more relaxed here. Let your breath get a little deeper, your mind open. Lower your left foot next to your right. And again, open and close your mouth. Bend those knees deeply, reach your arms forward and up, chair. Rise up to stand, take a baby back bend or a bigger back bend. And bow forward, exhale the whole way. Nice. And stepping back, downward facing dog, out Mukha Svanasana. Vinyasa of choice or none at all. Be aware of those shoulders. You know, I give a lot of times that idea of coming all the way down to your belly, but make sure that those shoulder blades stay deep on your back. Good. Left foot steps forward, Virabhadrasana 2. Nice. Make sure that knee is pointing right at that second toe, that you're deeply dropping into that thigh. Left forearm on left thigh or left hand to the floor, right arm over your ear, side angle. Good. Lift that head so the head is in line with that spine, and then place your right hand behind your head. Tuck your chin into your chest and curl in. Draw deeply in. Thighs back as well. Sit bones back as well. Good. Keep all of that, and then let the head press back and the arm come back over the ear. It's just a check-in to see if you're really engaging. Take a breath in. Let your hands float down to the floor. Spin up the back heel. Hands on the floor, framing that front foot, and then take that back leg to the sky into that standing split. And find the action that you're creating comes with this relaxed mind, this deeper breath. It's open to all possibilities. Where do we shut down? Where do we think we know best? Good. Release that foot down to the front of the mat. Take your feet wide, turn your feet wide and come into squat. Some of you have other options than squat, which are wonderful as well. Block underneath your seat, blanket underneath your heels. And then just breathe deeply here. Deep into the earth, squat deep into the earth. I have suggested many times over to get a little magnifying glass and to go up to some of the wild ones in your garden and see all of their design. It's magnificent. Take a look at some of the leaves and how little, it's like drawn on magnificently, beautifully, like little lines, artistry. Standing forward, bend, please. Hands on your hips, push down through your legs, rise up to stand. Let your arms float alongside the body, close your eyes and just feel. Just breathe into this. Okay, hug your left knee into your chest. Draw your left knee on top of your right, Garudasana, eagle pose. So knee on top of knee, and then right elbow on top of left elbow. Take the sit bones back and wide, scoop that low belly, and then let your elbows come down to meet your knees. Stay that closed in, that pulled in, squeeze in, but now lift your elbows back up, but stay low. As if you're going to take a back bend, but stay low. And fly away. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Second side, please. I don't know why it is, and it's the same way for me. Eagle pose, when you finish it, it feels like you have to be dramatic. You wrap those elbows, squeeze those shins, widen those inner thighs. So we still need those sit bones to go wide. We still need that space in your low back. And let your elbows come down to meet your knees. Go nice and low. Wow. And then from that point, just lift those elbows back up, fingertips reaching. Breath stays deep. And fly away. Nice. Nice, Susie. Very nice. Good. Sit back into chair when you're ready. Bring your hands to your heart center. The power of your legs here. Push your butt back more. Butt back more. Hands to your heart center. Navel in. Prayer twist to your right. Left elbow hooks. Squeeze your shins. Widen your knees here. Do not let one knee come forward. Good. Keep the squeeze. Look down to the floor and send your left leg back for Virabhadrasana 3. Keep the hook. Just lift the left leg up off the floor. That's it, Lisa. Lift it up. Don't think. That's it, Robin. And then bring that foot all the way back up. And release, Yelena. Beautiful. Bow forward. Better not to think it out, right? Bend your knees, reach your arms forward and up, chair. Hands at your heart center. It's a prayer. Take it to a twist. Nice, Eliana. Good. Squeeze. Have that sense of squeezing. Pull your head back. Now look down to the floor. Lift your right leg off the floor. Lift it up. Off the floor. Even if you fall. Good. Bring that foot back up and bow forward. Good. Don't hate me because I love you. Take your left leg up, standing split. Left leg up, standing split. How about enough of tree, enough of standing split? Good. Squeeze those legs together. Good. Now lean onto your hands and lift up onto your tippy toes again. Like you're going to go right into hands. Some of you go ahead and do a little baby kick here. Powerful hands. Good. Lower that leg down. Beautiful. Heels to the floor. Walk it in a little. Good. Try the other side. If your hands don't go flat, right? If you cannot make your hands go flat, here, put blocks underneath them. Because I want you to feel as if you'd be kicking up to a handstand here. Lift up that right leg, come up to those tippy toes on that left, on your left, lift up that right leg, come up to your tippy toes of your left foot. Lean into those hands, look forward. Maybe a little jump. Nice. Good. Lower that leg down, turn your feet wide and come into squat. Nice. If you would like to try crow pose here, this is the time to do it. Otherwise, you can stay in squat. If neither of those suggestions you like, come down to your seat and bring the soles of your feet together. So either moving toward a balancing arm balance crow pose, staying in your squat, or coming down to sit, bringing the soles of your feet together. Those of you in crow, come on out, and everyone come take a seat and bring the soles of your feet together. Maybe sit up on a blanket. For some of you, that's going to be a good option. Creating the space by pressing down through the baby toe and then walking yourself forward any amount. Breathing deeply. Tatiana, you have a friend there. Cat people. Okay, reach for your big toes and lean back, lift your feet off the floor. Take your legs out wide if you can, or keep them bent, but lift your chest a lot. Good, now squeeze your legs together and take your arms on the outside of your legs for boat pose, Navasana. Nice, Audrey. And friend, beautiful, beautiful. Now squeeze the knees in and lift your chest higher, lift it higher. Good, now straighten those legs and start to lower down to half boat pose. Lower down until you're halfway down to the floor. And then lower all the way down. Did you hold your breath that whole time? How'd that go? Lower down, bend your knees, plant your feet. You're laying on your back right now. Construct a breast pose. Allow yourself to rest with your knees bent and your breath deep. So good, so good. Inhaling and exhaling here. And then hopefully you're not tired of my favorite abdominal exercises. Take your legs straight up to the sky. I got to catch some of them up who haven't been with me for a while, what we've been doing. So keep your arms alongside the body. So your legs are super powerful as if you were standing on them, right? And then start to stretch your legs out to the letter V nice and slow. Widen them, go slow. Keep your navel drawn in, your ribs are dropping to the floor, your chest is lifting up, and you're breathing. Now slowly squeeze your legs back together, slow. Now take your right leg toward the floor so it's more like a letter L. So it's coming forward instead of sideways. That's it, Debbie, great. And then pause before it touches the floor. Don't let it touch the floor. And then switch, bring that leg up and bring the other leg toward the floor and let it pause before it touches the floor. And then bring that leg back up and don't use your hands, wrap your right knee on top of your left knee, right knee on top of left. Then bend your knees and squeeze your shins toward each other. So not ankle to knee, but knee to knee. Stephanie, can you draw your knee on top of your knee instead of ankle to knee? There you go. Squeeze your shins and now draw your knees in toward your navel. Don't use your hands and draw your knees slightly away from your navel. Little pushes forward and back. Good, don't use your hands. Rewrap other knee on top. Squeeze your shins and just move the knees slightly forward and slightly back. Good, draw the knees in, undo your legs, plant your feet on the floor, bring your arms out to letter T. Bring your feet as wide as your mat and drop both knees to the right. If you would like to, you can take your right ankle on top of your left knee or just leave your right foot where it is. Lydia, the other way. So you can, yeah, correct. Bring those knees back up and switch sides. So it'd be left ankle on top of right knee if you're doing what we did on the other side. Yeah, there you go, Andra. Or make it your own. Beautiful. Come back to center. I'm going to take bridge here. So all that same work that you've done with the navel center, lifting of the chest, softening of the shoulders, go ahead and take those hips up. Maybe clasp your hands underneath you. Maybe keep it where it is. Lift your chin up so that you have sides of your throat nice and long. And even with that lifting of the chin, the head can press gently into the floor. And then release the hands and lower down. I'm going to give you an opportunity here to take a second back bend. Not throughout, we've taken quite a few cobras, but your second one here. Either coming into full wheel, or some of you love camel, so happy to see you do camel, or just come back into bridge where we just were. Back bend of choice. Or even if you have a block, there you go, Lisa. Even if you have a block, you can always put a block underneath your sacrum in bridge, which is really nice. Yes, 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 yes. Nice, Tatiana. Yeah, nice, Veronica. So Debbie, we are going to go into an inversion. So if you want to stay, that's fine. We are going to do that in a minute. Totally fine. I just wanted you to know we're going to go there anyway. I promise. Just copy. And then if you are in camel, come forward into child's pose. If you are in bridge, come on down. Wheel, come on down. And I am going to give you the opportunity to go upside down. So if you would like to come into headstand, handstand, forearm balance, shoulder stand, legs up the wall. Make sure you don't throw all of what we've been doing in this abdominal area out the window when you go upside down. Bring that navel power with you. Enjoy your breath here. Part of the reason we go upside down, right, is to see the world a little differently, different perspective. For sure, that's what we're being asked as yogis. Don't just look at it one way. Don't just take it for what others have told you it is. Taste it yourself. Experience it yourself. Let your eyes, your ears, your nose, your taste. Wherever you are, keep breathing. Just one more minute here. If you would like to come down before that, feel free to do that. Nice, Veronica. All right, and then come on out. Nice, Heidi. Wherever it is that you find yourself, maybe just if you roll your head side to side, just take a moment. We're going to find ourselves coming together to sit, but take care of yourself after coming out of an inversion. And then once you come back to your seat, Agni Stambhasana, so right shin on top of left shin, or right shin in front of left shin. So what Veronica just did is she just stacked the one shin on top of the other one. This is the fire log pose, hip opener. But if your right knee is super high here, you want to either sit up on a prop, a blanket is best, or put right shin in front of left shin. Yeah, if it doesn't change it, Debbie, it's not worth it. I'd rather shin in front of shin. Yeah. Make sure you flex your feet well here. Nice, Allison. You got it. Yeah. And then either stay upright or walk yourself forward. Pull those toes back. We're protecting our knee here by using our shin action. Walk forward any amount. Those of us that don't have one leg stacked on top of the other, we still can feel this very well if you keep pushing your sit bones back and flexing your feet and pulling your spine long. You will not miss out. Good. Navel stays drawn in. Walk yourself up. Good. And then go ahead and change sides. Other shin in front or other shin on top. Navel in, sit bones back, and come forward any amount. Beautiful. Beautiful. Lifting yourself all the way back up. Good. Stretch your legs out to straight in front of you. And bending your right knee. Janu Shirshasana. Let your right knee fall out to the side. And come over your left leg. And if you need to, you can always bend that extended leg for a moment and really take the spine as long as it'll go and then begin to straighten leg or use a strap. And you can either just stay here or you can take a moment to look up and pull the spine a little longer, draw the navel in all the way up to the heart and then extend the heart all the way toward the heel. And again, it just might feel like you get a little more extension and maybe it doesn't feel any different in your body. Maybe your breath gets a little longer. And slowly come on up and just feel for a moment. Okay, change legs, please. Other side, Janu Shirshasana. And take your time to find that extended leg. And again, maybe you're bending the knee at first. Beautiful, everyone. Slowly come on up and find a comfortable cross-legged seat. Close your eyes. And take the mudra of wisdom. Thumb and first finger come to touch. Jnana mudra. Things that seem so simple, sometimes we don't do. I don't know what is wrong with our crazy brain, but it's too easy, we don't do it. It's too hard, we don't do it either. The thumb and first finger touching is the mudra of great wisdom, knowledge. May I always be a student of this life. May I see between the lines. May I see between all that seems as solid. So just take a moment or two in silent meditation, holding the beautiful mudra of wisdom. You can stay here or come down to lie on your back for Shavasana. If you come down to lie on your back, feel free to take a spinal twist. Make sure you're warm. So gently begin to deepen your breath. If you're lying on your mat, hug your knees into your chest. Roll to the right side. Come on up to sit. Bringing your hands to your heart center. We'll chant Om Shanti 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 Om Peace Peace Peace. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sliding your hands to the space between the eyebrows. Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much for being with me. Thank you, Veronica, for modeling for me. I love you. Have a beautiful day. Go talk to the rock people.
Thank you, Sheryl. Have a good day.